On Saturday, May 1st, Grace and Michael renewed their vows among their intimate family members and Miss Yoko Shoto, mom and dad, and the kids. It was an intimate ceremony in their backyard in the oasis over by the Japanese tea house. It was a small ceremony, but they got to renew their vows in a very short but very sweet ceremony. They got to say their I do's, and the kids were so elated as they were dressed as if they were in a wedding. By the time they said their I do's, the celebration began. It was such an exciting event for the kids. They'd never seen anything like this, said Bailey. It was so exciting, as they had a small ceremony and a catered event. By the time everybody arrived, Nan, Vanessa, and my Johnny Cox got there. Everybody that arrived at the small reception area, everybody enjoyed barbecued ribs and, of course, the other items at the table. It was so fun, said Jenny. I'm so glad that we got to enjoy the event. It was so fun. I was so excited to see Mom and Dad renew their vows. This was so special. It was so apropos, said Mom and Dad. It was exactly what I expected, to see them renew their vows after almost 8 years. I never thought I'd see anything like this, said Michael and Grace. We needed to do this to rekindle everything, to remind ourselves what the commitment we made to God and to our family in front of everybody that we love. Michael and Grace looked exactly what a bride and groom should look like. Why we did this is to remind ourselves the commitment we made to you and our family and to God. And we wanted the kids to be included in this. That's exactly right, said Elijah. I love it. As school was almost out, Elijah's going into 10th grade, and he's prepared for the world ahead. Dad, I can start working for you now that I'm 16. Well, you're almost 16. You're almost there. Yeah, you'll be working for me this summer. Yeah, exactly, Dad. I'll be working at the Smithton Motors. Well, no, Smithton Automotive. Get it right. Wow. I can't believe I'll be working this summer. It's exactly what I was thinking. I can't believe my son's going to be working. It's going to be an exciting couple months with you working at the shop. Yeah, Dad, I'll be doing what you did. Yep, you sure will. As the conversation shifted from that to so many other conversations, to Bailey being in 9th grade as well, and of course, the other kids that are excelling in school, it has been life-changing to watch the kids grow up. Now that Michael is old enough to be in kindergarten, it's just changing so quickly. The kids are growing up and they're all excelling in school. Going from St. Elizabeth to now St. John is such a switch for both Grace and Michael. It's really changed their lives to see the kids grow up. Miss Yokoshoda couldn't help but say the same thing. It is so wonderful to see the kids grow up. I mean, I'm getting older, but I have felt so good about everything that I've seen. I feel so good about what is happening today. I hope I get to live as long as possible to see the rest of their lives. I at least hope to see them graduate and go on to college and spend as much time with the kids as possible. We hope so too, Mrs. Yokoshoto. We want you around as long as possible. So take it easy. As long as my rose bush can survive this, that would be perfect, said Mrs. Yokoshoto. Yes. As Marissa Ringgold and Robert Ringgold showed up, it was such a pleasant surprise. Oh, Marissa, it's been so long. Yes, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy to see you too. As the conversation swirled around, of course, their adopted daughter, Abby, and the conversation just went from there. They had play dates and all these things that they had planned, but because of so much of the hustle of just raising children, they haven't been able to catch up for so long. Then Nan stopped over with, of course, the kids being over there at the poolside area of the pond. Everybody was taking pictures and doing all those things. And they had a professional photographer taking pictures of everybody enjoying themselves. It was a beautiful event. As it was starting to get a little later into the evening, they had beautiful lights strung up so that everybody can enjoy the evening. It was getting late though, because a lot of people had children, they had to leave. And it was getting late enough that other people had to leave too, because it was, of course, time for them to get ready to go. Little by little, everybody was leaving. Oh, it's been a hectic day for all of us. We're glad that everybody showed up when they did. Thank you for showing up, said Grace. I appreciate it. As they left cards and presents on the table. It was so special that people still left cards and presents. They didn't expect it, of course, but it was still wonderful that people still thought was thoughtful enough to do that. As it wound up, the cleanup crew that was sent by the catering company came to clean up. It was as if it was spotless and cleaned up almost immediately. It was wonderful. As the nannies enjoyed a lot of downtime, the switch was made that a lot of the nannies who left, the one nanny that stayed behind was Jackie. She didn't work that much, so she wanted some extra hours, so she stayed behind with Jessica. It's nice to have the kids cleaned up and in bed at a decent hour, so the kids went down for a nap, but didn't sleep that much, so they had to go to bed early. Okay, all the three kids that are up, I know that you guys need to get dressed and ready for bed, so go up with the nannies and they'll get you ready for bed. Okay, let's get cleaned up, okay? I love you kids so much. Let us enjoy some downtime with the rest of the people that are here. So, Grace and Michael spent a little extra time with Vanessa and Johnny as they had to leave soon and they had little Michael with them. Michael's 5. Yeah. I mean, he's ready for kindergarten. He is in kindergarten, said Vanessa. Oh boy, I can't believe it. Kids grow up so fast. Yeah, Vanessa said it just seemed like he was a year old just not that long ago. Yeah, really. Well, we know you have to leave, so we're going to let you go early. So, yeah, we have to go. It's almost 7 o'clock. So, that means bedtime for Johnny. Bedtime for Johnny. You mean bedtime for Michael? Jokingly said Vanessa. Or bedtime for Mom. Yeah, wanted probably both. As they left and they thanked everybody for showing up, Nan had left with them. Oh, well, I think that's the last of it, said Michael. That's the last of the crew. I guess the rest of the people that left early because they too felt like it was time to go too. Well, it was nice seeing everybody. Ben Ferguson was here. I mean, Johnny and then Michael Carrington was here. I mean, everybody that was here, including Vanessa Roberts and her baby. I mean, you pretty much covered a lot of ground. Michael Roberts, everybody that needed to be here, Cindy, everybody that you invited showed up. Yeah, I got to talking to a lot of people. I tried to talk to as many people as I could, said Michael. Well, I'm glad that you got a chance to talk to everybody, said Vanessa. Vanessa was still there. I didn't even know you were still here. Yeah, I didn't leave. Michael took Michael home. Oh, I decided to stay late because I wanted to hang out and talk to both you and Grace about something. How you renewed your vows, how inspirational this was. Oh, I'm glad. Are you sure? Do you want us to drive you home? If you don't mind, we'll drive you home tonight. Okay, let's just let somebody know that we're going to drive you home. So Michael and Grace let Grandma Yokoshoda let somebody know that we drove Vanessa Roberts home. Okay, so we're going to drive you home and we'll take care of that. Okay, so sounds good. I didn't know you stayed behind, Vanessa. You should have told us sooner. No, I just decided to stay back because he did leave a little too early. Michael was fussy. Oh, I see. That's what happened. I just wanted to stay and spend some time with all of you. Okay, so as I drove Vanessa home, boy, Vanessa, I had no idea how big your house was. Wow, no wonder you picked your house to be the house of choice. Yeah, really, my house is pretty big. As they rolled up and they dropped Vanessa off. Okay, Vanessa, we'll see you at work. Yeah, definitely. Are you going on a honeymoon? No, we're just having renewed our vows. That's it. We might go on a day trip or something, or do something spectacular, or do something like go out to dinner or somewhere special, but no honeymoon. We did that before. Oh, Grace said, we'll do something, I'm sure. We'll go somewhere nice eventually. Hey, have a nice night, Vanessa. Tell Michael we said good night, okay? Okay, thank you, said Vanessa. Have a good night. As they closed up the car and drove home, that was really nice that Vanessa stayed back. That was, as they drove home and went back to the house. As they got back to the house, they just really enjoyed the bliss of a beautiful renewing of the vows. They had a lot of pictures to choose from, the photographer said. He said every picture turned out really beautiful. You'll have a lot of pictures to pick from. I can't wait, said Vanessa's friends. Yeah, Michael had mentioned it on the phone with Vanessa, was on the phone with them as they were talking. Yeah, that's what the photographer said, Vanessa. Yeah, I guess so. Well, you have a good night, Vanessa. We're going to have to go. As Michael got off the phone with Vanessa, I guess Vanessa forgot something in the car. Oh, really? Did she forget her purse? Yeah, she forgot her purse. I'll have to give it to her at work on Monday. Anyway, so the photographer said this was going to be the case, that we're going to have a hard time picking out pictures. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, well, Grace, I guess that's just the way it is. We'll probably end up picking out all the pictures. Oh, well, as they got into the house and talked to mom and dad for a little bit and just experienced the whole renewing their vows, mom and dad recalled renewing their vows, and they said it was a wonderful experience too. And they said, did you get the idea off of us? No, really, we never really thought of it. You know, Grace had a really amazing experience. She said it was a wonderful experience. It was so wonderful that really I never thought we'd ever do this. Maybe we should have waited. No, we waited long enough. We had to do this. There was I don't know, line of demarcation. It's like we had to do this. We had to do this for the kids because they're young enough now and they have memories of us sharing this memorable moment, and I think it was perfect. That's true. And Jessica said to Michael and Grace, this was such a beautiful event that really I'm glad that you had this. And I think everybody will remember this as a very special moment. I agree. As they were cleaning up and cleaning themselves up after the whole event, they went down to the patio and they said the patio is spotless. As Mrs. Yokomashoto was looking around and she saw the Japanese tea house. They went downstairs to look at it, and they saw the moon perched over the tea house. They saw it was so beautiful at night. The stars were out shining bright as can be. It was a beautiful night just to stare out into the stars. It was a perfect night. Michael and Grace said this would be a perfect time to dance to a perfect song. I don't know what song is on, but I would love to play one of our favorite songs. Maybe like I don't know, I can't think of a song right now. Maybe a Japanese music. Mrs. Yokoshoda, do you have any Japanese music we can dance to? Oh, of course I do. I could play Japanese music for you right now. So she played Japanese music and they danced at the Japanese tea house and danced under the stars. It was a perfect evening and they just danced the night away. It was perfect. As they got done dancing, Michael and Grace enjoyed this beautiful moment together. Well, I don't know what to say, but Michael, you danced like a beautiful, I mean, it was just beautiful. I don't know what to say. Just say thank you. Oh, well, thank you. Anyway, so as they made their way upstairs and they kissed mom and dad goodnight and kissed Mrs. Yokoshodo goodnight, they thanked them for a beautiful evening. As they talked to the nannies and the nannies were settling in for the night, they were, of course, working overnight shift and they said they need to get to bed too. And Grace and Michael made it to their bedrooms and, of course, peeled off all their beautiful linens and clothing that they had wore the whole day. It's nice to get out of all this clothing, this beautiful gear that we wore. We'll have to have it dry cleaned, of course. Of course, Grace, naturally. But let's get into our regular clothing or pajamas at this point. So they got into the pajamas and they got comfortable. This is the most comfortable I felt all day, to be honest with you. It's nice to get into some comfortable clothes. Yeah, it is. By the way, Grace, I had such a beautiful day. It has been really well worth everything we had to plan and all the decisions around this. It was well worth it. I know, Michael. This is like, here's to like, I don't know, new beginnings, old beginnings. I don't know, just rekindling our romance, our marriage, all these things that I can think of. I'm just so glad we did this. I'm so glad we have memories to hold on to. And we'll always remember this as the way to a better path in our life. We don't have to look behind anymore. We can always look forward. And these are just memories we can always hold on to. As Michael and Grace kissed, it was a different kiss than ever before. This time, this kiss had depth and meaning. As they held each other close and they caressed each other's bodies, they just held each other close as they became one. They just felt this oneness that they haven't felt before. It's just the way it was meant to be, with the way God intended it to be. That husband and wife were meant to be one and close the way they are meant to be close. And they held on to each other so close, the way exactly it's supposed to be. As the night grew on, they talked and they just had such good conversations throughout the night. But it was getting late and they had to get some sleep. And Michael and Grace shared a beautiful evening talking to each other under the stars. As they went to sleep, of course, it was late and they slept into the night. As morning came, Grace and Michael just realized what a wonderful evening they had shared. Of course, the whole experience of rekindling their romance and having renewed their vows was a beautiful experience altogether. It was definitely a way to end the old chapter of their life and start a whole new venture in their life going forward.